Hello and welcome to 1,000 Women, 1,000 Ways. I'm Jennifer and our guest today is Kath. Now her story starts with a legacy of cancer, breast cancer, throughout her family, her mum and her sisters, and because they were unwell, Kath took on the role of caretaker, which led to her own cancer diagnosis.
Yes, well, I had three teenage children, and that was a feat in itself. But then trying to take care of everybody else, I just thought it was my role to do that. But I soon I was sort of rather run down, and that's when I discovered that I had cancer.
And what was your diagnosis of cancer?
It was a gynaecological cancer.
And with gynaecological cancer, what exactly is that? Can you explain it for our viewers?
Yeah, well, there's ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, vulval vagina cancer, and ovarian cancer. So there's just there's basically 4 or 5 of the cancers that women suffer in silence with, so not to mention the partners behind the women as well. And I guess that's what I'm about, is breaking down some of the barriers and the stigmas and making gynecology normal, because just to say the word in itself, it's like, people want to run away from you, but it's part of us as women, and I just sort of think we have to take the factor away.
So which cancer out of the 5 cancers did you have?
I actually had vulvar cancer. Am I allowed to say that word?
Yes, absolutely, because it's part of our body.
Yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely, yes.
But it's a precious part of our body that society seems to have done the reverse to what the magnificent is of our genitalia as well. And I discovered a Latin word in the dictionary called pudendum, and the Latin version of that word says female genitalia, the shameful part of a woman. So I just thought, whoa, should I be ashamed? And I was actually so isolated. I just can't live in the world that it is like that in this day and age. And something had to change, and I'm still 20 years down the track trying to change that. And I went to find the support, but everywhere there was, it was like, still the shame. We'll talk about breast cancer, but let's not go down that track. But then I discovered like 1 million women with polycystic ovaries, 1 million with endometriosis and fibroids and prolapse, and the list goes on, but we don't talk about it. I think, well, come on, let's do something about this. So that just began my journey. It hasn't been an easy journey, it's still not an easy journey, but I'm pleased to say things are progressing.
So when you were initially diagnosed, what were your thoughts?
I find it hard to describe how I felt, but this is what I do today because I don't know how to describe what it is that not only myself deal with, but there's others out there that are dealing with this, but they don't have the voice that I've got. So hence I'm making a voice. It can be confronting for some, but I'm just telling the truth. So, the truth must prevail, they say. But I also question, how come we can have compassion for one another as women if we don't have you may not have endometriosis or polycystic ovaries, but if the woman in your workplace has this condition and I don't understand what you've got, how can we have that compassion? And even in the corporate world, because sometimes this is in the too hard basket, and I'm pleading with the corporate world to just take one look at what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve here to make a difference in the world.
So how did it impact your sex life, if you're open to talking about that?
No, I'm quite open about it. It was so catastrophic and just so appalling and very, very sad. The sadness, I can't believe how sad it can be, and especially in the world that didn't really want to deal with it. But as far as the sex life was concerned, my husband was very patient with me, but it took a long time. I'm surprised my husband is still with me because, just getting your head together and understanding how it all works out there, it was just tragic. It was just tragic.
And is there sex after surgery?
Oh yes, well I'm pleased to say.
Good.
There is some relief in all of it. I can still have an orgasm.
So 20 years ago, what support was there, if any, for gynaecological cancer?
There was, I did go to the cancer centres, but nobody seemed to have gynecological issues there. It was all about the breast cancer or other cancers. So that's why I think I felt so isolated, because I just didn't seem to fit in there. So, but things are changing, so, we are progressing, but just not enough. I found a woman who was a friend of a friend, and she said, my friend has just had that done. And I said, where is she? Because all I wanted to do was be with somebody who knew my pain, really deep, deep pain. Because we as women, I think we do learn from one another, and the sharing is the healing, but it's quite, we can share about things but don't share about gynecology. But this is where we lack our power. Once you can talk about gynecology and understand it, you become more empowered. The fact that I can sit here and talk about these things, I am empowered. And I want other women to be empowered with the knowledge before anything happens to them, or even after.
It's quite interesting that it's been more of a taboo. When you think about it, that is our power centre, our uterus. Our children come from there. We create life. Birth comes from our gynecological function.
I've just written my book called The Not So Secret Women's Business, and I'm just doing another book called Unknotting Your Knickers, because I'm trying to put a bit of humour in.
Yeah, because I am laughing, as you can see.
I know. So,
I think they're fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It's really good.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show
pleasure.
today. I've learned a lot, and I love what you're doing.
So
keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. I know it's tough, but keep going. You're doing great things. And you must have helped thousands of women already.
Well, I'm not sure that I see that, but people say that to me, but you don't really see the evidence. And
yes.
But having the letter from the minister, it's like, well, she wouldn't register that for nothing. So I can see that it is taking effect.
And you're Pride of Australia medal too.
Order of Australia medal.
Sorry, Order of Australia medal. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well done.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on the show. And I look forward to seeing where you go to next.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you were really informed by Kath's interview today, or you actually have gynecological cancer yourself, please research Kath. Do you have a website?
Yes, it's kathmasella.com.
kathmasella.com to gain more information. So you can join Kath and I on the 10th of September, because we'll do something, we'll organise something, and we will be there, and you can join us too. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.